Good day, everyone, and welcome to Different Stages Radio. I'm your host, JJ, broadcasting in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. And my guest today is from the legendary Norwegian Gothic progressive band Green Carnation, who will be releasing their long-awaited studio album, the first of three parts, A Dark Poem, The Shores of Melancholia, Part 1, The Shores of Melancholia, that will be released on September the 5th on Season of Mist. Please welcome my guest, Kjetil Nordhus. How are you?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. It's good to be here.
Thank you for coming on the board, and I appreciate all the scenery that you're providing our listeners and viewers. This is
no
awesome.
problem.
How are things in Norway today?
Oh, it's a lovely day. It's a lovely summer day. We're having the nicest summer for many years, which makes us, since the rest of the year is quite dark and gloomy, we all get kind of really happy when it's like this and we can be outside by the sea like I am now, wearing not a lot of clothes. It's not every day we can do that.
Don't pan too far down. We might scare people.
Yeah.
Now, so this upcoming album, part 1 in a 3-part series, your first album since Leaves of Yesteryear in 2020. The first single, In Your Paradise, is available now. How has the response been so far?
Oh, it's we've been putting like extreme amounts of efforts into this entire project, all 3 albums, and it's been going on for many years. So of course we're really happy with how it turned out. But well, many people would say that that's the most important. But again, of course, when you hear the response from the people listening to the first single, which is like overwhelming, it's a very nice feeling, to be honest. So yeah, the response has been brilliant and more than we hoped for, actually.
And you still want to be a bit kind of humble with that response, because it can perhaps be a little bit overwhelming when you've been away for a bit and you suddenly drop a new single and you're like, whoa, what's going on here?
Yeah, it's true. I guess many musicians will recognize the feeling, the excitement with at last being able to share your music with people that are eager to hear it, and maybe also share it with people that doesn't know too much about the band yet. But of course, when the response is so great, it's just an amazing feeling. Yeah.
And now you have part 1 that will be released. Now, have you been working on all 3 parts at the same time, or you just have the concept between parts 2 and part 3 to come? Are you recording all parts as you go? How is that coming along? Yeah,
it's been a long period of composing, and we have composed the entire trilogy in one long session that's been going on for many years. And we thought it was a great idea also to record everything. It's written to fit together, so it kind of made sense for us to do all 3 albums in the studio as well. And we're finished with recording everything, and the second album is now being mixed. So it's everything is well planned. Of course, it's taken maybe 7 years to compose the entire thing. But now we're kind of, I guess now the real work starts when starting to rehearse it, to be able to play it live and to do like interviews like this, which I really enjoy, but it's a lot of it, but that's also good,
It's always good to get the word out there and getting hopefully your music exposed to people that may not have otherwise heard of Green Carnation previously.
Absolutely.
So as far as the existing fans or people that have been following Green Carnation throughout the years, how would you say this first part has expanded Green Carnation's sound?
Yeah, it's I think we've been trying to not put any limits on the work whatsoever, and we decided that the songs, it's up to what fit the songs. So we do have extreme vocals, for example, in one of the songs on the new album, which is not every day that Green Carnation has that. But that song needed that kind of vocal, and we didn't want to put any limits on ourselves with any of the songs on any of the 3 albums. And And we wanted to be brave. We wanted to take chances and challenge ourselves. And I do think that we've done it. I think the people listening to all three albums would kind of recognize the same when they've listened to all three albums, because there is going to be a few surprises, not only on the first one, but also on the second, and not least the third album. There will be a big surprise for people. So and we're doing stuff that we've never done before. So we just we wanted to let the art or the music decide in which direction, and of course you will recognize it's Green Carnation anyway, because it's ourselves performing it, but we wanted to take some chances and be a little bit free when it comes to not rejecting any ideas because it was hard to fulfill, for example, and we just needed to fulfill the ideas if they were the right ideas and stuff like that. So yeah, so that's probably also why it took such a long time. So yeah, we composed everything in one go, and that's basically the concept of the entire thing. It's a huge it's a huge piece of music that we needed 3 albums in order for it to work, right?
Yeah. And it's important to keep pushing yourself, like you said, and not become complacent, and to take those chances and challenges. And you alluded to having some more fierce guttural vocals there with Grutle there from Enslaved.
Yeah.
After hearing the record, and that's the thing, is that I usually don't like to read a bunch of the stuff first. I just want to dive in and then have stuff, and then I'll maybe go back and read a bit about it afterwards. So when that came in, I'm like, what is this? So it was like, it definitely adds that Norwegian, like, well, not that it already doesn't have that Norwegian flavor, but yet another dimension to the Norwegian sound. And yet it does fit in the way that you complement the vocals in that song. I think it's just magical. Yet I found it interesting too that not only do those like Grutle's vocals on there, but I found the music a bit behind his parts were still kind of enslaved-ish. And I was if that was kind of intentional or just how it happened.
A little bit of both, to be honest. We were joking about that it kind of did sound a little bit like Enslaved, some of it. And of course, when his vocals ended up on the song, of course there are people. Let's say it's just it's a hello to our friends in Enslaved in a good way, hopefully.
Yeah, it's just kind of there, but it just adds that another color to the album, another dimension to the album. And going back to the album, after listening to it a couple of times through, the flow is just incredible. And then once again, after reading it too, and there's that line about just kind of describing the album, that when it's done, hopefully somebody wants to listen to it again. And it has that flow, that it really is one, even though it is the first part of 3, it still seems like one cohesive piece. And just looking at the opening track, As Silence Took You, like, that's just such a brilliant lead into the first single, In Your Paradise. I really love the space that you provide in your music. Can you talk about the space and dynamics, because that really seems to be important to Green Carnation sound?
Yeah, what we did after recording all of the songs, we did have a few ideas, but we wanted, as you say, all the 3 albums to be possible to listen to without the other 2 albums. But also, I do think that if you say in 1 year's time, or when all 3 albums are out, and you listen to all 3 albums, I think you would still recognize and accept that this is one piece of music that's just in 3 parts. So when deciding on which songs to be on the first album, second album, and third album, we needed that to be, in contention, like when we needed the first album to sound like an album, not necessarily that to sound like something, but you need to listen to the next album in order for it to make sense. And hopefully we succeeded with that. And what you're saying, it seems like we succeeded with putting the right songs together. It's not like it's very. The first song it's very important that the first song is the first song. I don't think that would suit that well as not being the first song and also the last song on the album. It couldn't be anywhere else on the album than being the last song, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Also, the one with Grutle comes after Me, My Enemy, which is totally different kind of song that you kind of get a little break maybe, and you get to the 70s vibes a little bit, and then suddenly over to the extreme metal of song number 4. So yeah, we did. It's a lot of thought behind that, and hopefully we succeed on the second and third album as well with that.
I'm thinking you will. Now,
hopefully.
I think you will. Now, this album as a whole, though, too, I'm hearing at times, not saying that it's the same, but similarities and finding some influence, perhaps. Are you a Riverside fan? Are you a Nevermore fan? Because I was feeling at times there was a little bit of almost slightly heavier Riverside at times meets a lighter Nevermore, and vocally at times there's a Marius meets Worrell tone to your vocals.
That's nice. That's nice to hear. I'm a fan of both Nevermore and of both and Riverside. Sten Roger, which I have written the music together with Sten Roger, the bass player, all of the new songs. He's probably listened a little bit to Nevermore. I don't think he's ever heard of Riverside, probably. So yeah, but I agree. You're not the first one that says the thing about Nevermore, and it's very nice for me as a singer to hear to being mentioned in the same sentence as Walden, of course. But yeah, he's a great singer, and for us to remind about different bands, it's just a good thing, I think. When people feel references to things they like, hopefully, that's just a good thing, I think. Yeah.
And that's where again I feel that that's a great way to take a certain influence and expand on it. And that's what I was also trying to get across. It. It's not like, oh, it sounds like that, but there's just some hints towards that. And it's like, I was curious if those were bands that you listened to and enjoyed. So it's interesting to get your take on that.
Yeah.
I also wanted to ask about a few months ago, some comings and goings with the band and people that maybe aren't up to speed. Can you fill people in about who's gone, who's back, and what's going on?
Yeah. Last summer, Kenneth Silden, the keyboard player, who's been with us for 20 years, he decided that he wanted to use his spare time for different kind of music projects, which is a fair thing. He's always been into jazz and blues, and looks like he's doing more of that now. So we needed a new keyboard player, and it was kind of an easy choice for us because we had one in the studio where we were going to record the new albums, and we talked with Endre Kirkesola, who also produced Light of Day, Day of Darkness, and who also played keyboards with us in the early 2000s and in the comeback year in 2016 when we did the full production of Light of Day, Day of Darkness live. So it was kind of an easy choice for us, and Endre was, he's doing the keys on the album, and when asked about if he wanted to join us live for, the period that we're going to play a dark poem live, he wanted to do that, and he's been a part of the family for many, many years, so it's not like he's not completely new face for us, to say the least.
So it's a little bit convenient then, accidentally on purpose, but it works out wonderfully.
Yeah, it does, and there's no problems with Kenneth. He just needed to do other priorities, and that's the thing with all of us, I guess. But it's nice. We're having almost the same lineup now as in 2001. It's just one guy, the drummer, is different, but the rest is the same.
Total full circle moment.
Yeah, it is kind of.
It's quite bizarre. Now, you have some tour dates coming up, correct? August 27th and August 30th.
Yeah, we have we're doing this, trying to create a little bit of a tradition in our hometown, doing an acoustic show every year. It's the third year. It's actually just 100 meters from where I live, and it's on a lovely outdoor venue which Sten Roger, the bass player, is running during the summer. So the last 3 years we have closed their season, and we're going to do the same this year. Acoustic, based on acoustic verses, of course, but also having some guests and like an evening with kind of Green Carnation acoustic. The 30th, that's not a gig. It's just a celebration of the new album in our hometown before we go to the US to do the ProgPower US 2 days before the album release. And so that's going to be a quite exclusive thing in Atlanta. We're going to play the entire album before anyone's heard it. So that's going to be cool, I think.
That'll be very, very cool. Now, is there plans on expanding on that tour, or is it just the one-off and then you're flying back home?
Yeah, well, we're flying back home after that. Actually, a few of us are going to Nashville to go to see a few country concerts after. It's in the neighborhood almost from Atlanta, so we thought we'd just use the opportunity to listen to some world-class musicians for a few days, and then we're going home. I think we're open for doing more shows on the Shores of Melancholia only, but I do think that next year is going to be our live year when we release the second album as well. You have the summer festivals in Europe, of course, and there's a lot of them. So maybe like we are thinking about doing a set that consists of a few songs from part 1 and a few songs from part 2, and make that our like 2026 live show. Yeah, so that's the plan, and hopefully after all the great reviews and interviews and everything, people would want to see us on festivals, and festival bookers would want to book us. So at least we're preparing for that.
I think you'll be just fine. Now, is part 2 then release date? Do you have already one penciled in, or a rough time frame for that?
Yeah, it's before next summer at least.
Okay.
And the next one is after next summer, the third part. Yeah.
So there'll be 2 and 3 next year?
2 and 3 next year, yeah.
Man. And then is it safe to say that the eventual plan is to go do a run of all 3 albums front to back? Is that the eventual hope?
Yeah, we're gonna release some news about that in a few months. At least we're gonna do all 3 albums in one evening at one show, which is the release show of a third album. There are practical reasons why it will be difficult to do all 3 albums in one go. You would understand when you hear about the third album.
I have an idea because of certain guests, perhaps.
Yeah.
Perhaps. There we go.
A lot of guests, actually. So, yeah.
And filming and so forth. Understood.
Yeah. So, but we are going to do it one time. That's going to be probably a once-in-a-lifetime experience for us. And it's going to be possible for people to come to Kristiansand, where we live, to see us in an amazing big concert hall where we did the Last Day of Darkness DVD, if you've seen that.
Yep.
It's the same. It's a 1,000 capacity seated thing. So our fans are getting old, same as us, so they need seats if they're cannot stand up for that many hours.
People, start saving your money and make this a big trip. This is going to be a big deal, and you don't want to miss this one.
Yeah.
So as far as the new album is concerned, The Shores of Melancholia, coming out on September the 5th on Season of Mist, where's the best place for people to go find the record?
That's a good question. It's going to be available everywhere. We're going to do this exclusive signed albums from the band's own shop that we're going to launch quite soon. I think that when doing that, you support the band a little bit extra, but wherever is okay for us. And we're going to do a lot of really nice new merch and stuff. So and also exclusive merch in our own web shop. So we're looking forward to launch that. Hopefully people would, and of course we're bringing all the albums not all the albums, but we're going to bring the albums on every show that we're going to do. So hopefully it will be possible to find the album.
And particularly the splatter vinyl. I'm looking forward to that. I think I saw some pictures and that looks very, very nice. Yeah,
it's all going to be released, of course. It's all going to be connected in the way like it's connected musically, of course, but it's going to be connected visually as well between the 3 albums. And there's going to be an LP box as well, of course, which is we didn't want to do any compromises there either. So of course there's going to be an LP box as well. So I'm looking forward to have that at home as well.
And let's not forget, with artwork by formerly of Dark Tranquillity's own Nicholas Sundin, looked brilliant. So we can look for that, the new album on September the 5th. We can look forward to your acoustic show on August the 27th. We can look forward to the album release show. Is that sort of thing on August the 30th? Is that correct?
Yeah, I think that's when we broke up earlier. It's not going to be a live show. It's going to be a celebration. There's going to be interviews. We'll have the Leprous bass player, Simon Berven. He lives in our hometown, so he's going to be the host and interview us about the process and everything on stage. And then we're going to play the album really loud to everybody who's there and have a great party in our hometown.
And then you'll be also doing it in its entirety just before it's released at the ProgPower Festival in Atlanta in early September. You got lots going on, and we look forward to part 2 and part 3 coming in 2026. A lot of wonderful things going on in Green Carnation land. Kjetil, you were awesome today. Appreciate the scenery. Appreciate your time. This is...
Thank you.
Thank you. Look at this. This is awesome. I can almost hear...
Yeah.
This is Different Stages Radio.